Hey guys, it's Annie, Creative.Cliche. In today's video, I'm gonna be doing a lot of reflecting. This is a year of realizing things. If you didn't get that joke, that was like a Kylie Jenner quote. It was pretty bad. But yeah, I hope that you guys like this video. It was pretty rambly, but basically I'm just talking about who I've become and who I used to be, kind of everything in between, I guess. I don't know. I just like talking about deeper things with you guys, so I hope that you like this subject. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a video on self-reflection, then keep watching. Alright guys, so I don't know about you, but I feel like I go through these points where someone will bring something up from the past, and then I start to think about it, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, then I spiral into everything, and I'm like, wow, I am so different than how I used to be. It's just crazy. Like, I remember I got really annoyed recently because my mom watches these videos, and she's like, you curse a lot. You don't curse. Like, why are you trying to be something you're not? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is who I am. Like, you know? And then I just thought it was that typical, like, mom thing where, like, parents, like, think that their kids are, like, angels and don't curse or don't do anything. Like, I don't know. But then I really started to think about it yesterday. And I was like, I never used to curse. Like, that was like I remember that was a big thing for me. And I really made it a point to not curse. And then it made me spiral and start to think about all the other things that I used to be that I'm not anymore. And guys, I am like night and day different from like, even like 10 years ago, like even 5 years ago, even last year, no, but it really is crazy. Like, I think it's so important, I look like a psycho, but I think it's so important to really take the time to reflect on who you're becoming and, you know, just beliefs in general. That's something that I've always done, and I think it's important to really take that time because you start to realize all the little changes that have happened throughout the years, and I think you should really take the time to break down the beliefs that you have and see if they're even things that you still believe in. Because most of the time you don't, and you can let those things go. I feel like this is going to be a long video because, like, I don't know, I feel so... I don't know, there's like just so much that I have to say about this. Like, when I started thinking about how I never used to curse, I started thinking about, well, what made me curse now? And honestly, you guys probably don't know this. I don't know if I've ever said it, but I worked in the car industry for like 4 years. And I'm telling you guys, like, everyone curses there. It's like, that's just the way that you talk in the car industry. And it's a lot of frustration. So obviously everyone's just like, fuck this, fuck that. Like, this guy's an asshole. Like, don't deal with these fuckers, you know? And obviously things happen over time and you don't remember what the transition actually was. But it got me to thinking, and I've mentioned this before too, but I didn't have my first drink until I was 22. And now, I don't want to say I drink like every day, but like I obviously don't have a problem. Like, this is like getting like too crazy. But yeah, I love, like, I'll have a beer when we go out. I'll have a glass of wine with dinner, you know? Things like that. And it's just not a big deal. You know, I don't get drunk, I don't get hammered. I'm just responsible about it, but I don't know, I really have an appreciation for it. And I remember I used to be so judgmental about, well, drinking excessively. I'm still kind of like that too, because I'm like, why are you getting drunk all the time, you know? But I remember I used to be that way with, like, weed. I used to be so judgmental. I was like, these guys are just, like, everyone's just a pothead, like they're going nowhere in life if you smoke weed. I get really bad migraines, so a couple years ago, I was looking for alternative methods to dealing with migraines because I was prescribed sumatriptan, and that, guys, makes your skin hurt. Like, at least for me, like, the side effects were just crazy. Like, my hair would hurt, like my hair follicles. And I remember, like, no one could touch me. Like, my skin was just so sensitive. And yeah, it made my headache go away, but I felt like I was dying. So I started looking up alternative medicine because I feel like it's not healthy to have such extreme medication. I don't know, it was just way too heavy for me, and I can't handle medications in general. Like, I was prescribed Percocets in the past for like when you get your teeth out, or just like I had a throat infection one time, like things like that. And just, I don't do well with strong medication. I don't like taking it. But yeah, so I was looking up alternative methods. So in doing research, my boyfriend was looking up like everything possible, and we came across weed. And it feels so weird calling it weed, but then it feels weird calling it marijuana. And it was literally just to try something new to see if it worked. Because if it did, like, you know, it's all natural, and it would just be a much better way of dealing with it. And that way I can just go right to sleep. And, you know, obviously it's not something that I would be able to do if I were working or, you know, on a job or anything like that. But mainly just for when I need to go to sleep and just hope that it's going to be gone in the morning. Those are the times when I was taking it. It wound up not working for me in the end. I think my body just got used to it. And not that I was smoking all the time or anything. I mainly get the bad migraines around my period. I think they're called just menstrual migraines, but yeah, they're extreme, and they're just so debilitating. Yeah, so it still takes the edge off. Like, I do it every once in a while if I need to. But the whole point of this story is I used to have such a strong stigma against smoking and just for people who smoked, and I think it just comes with the same reason that I didn't drink for the longest time, is because I feel like kids just ruin everything, you know? Like, you see people just being reckless, and you don't want to be like that, so you kind of steer away from those things. At least that's what it did for me. I mean, I was a bad kid in other ways, like not go to school and stuff, but I didn't get into drugs, you know? But it really is strange when you stop to think about everything that you used to be and how things are different now. And I used to be kind of a picky eater. Like, I would still, like, try things, kind of. Not really, I guess. I am a picky eater. Or was. Like, I didn't even eat guacamole until fairly recently. Like, maybe, I guess, like, a couple years ago. Like, I don't even think I had, like, Mexican food. I remember I went through this nacho kick once I had Mexican food for, like, I don't know if it was, like, the first time. I feel like it was, because I don't remember ever having it before. And now Mexican food's my favorite. But when I first got into it, I remember nachos was my go-to, which isn't like, I guess it's still Mexican, but it's not like a full-on like anything. But that was my way of like easing into it. And I got that everywhere with like extra guacamole and sour cream. I actually got into a couple years ago too, and now that's like my favorite. It's just so weird. All the things that I love now were things that I wouldn't even try before. And it's like, why not just try it? Like, what's wrong with you? But I don't think I had any other type of food besides like Italian food and like chicken fingers. And now I'll eat just about anything. I'll at least try it. And like, yeah, grilled octopus, put some seasoning on that. Also, I feel like my tolerance for shitty people is at like an all-time low. Like, I just don't, like, before I used to want to save everyone. If I saw like even a shred of potential in you, I really wanted to lift you up and, you know, just not change you, but I don't know. I wanted to just be there for you and really, I guess save you is like the right word for it. Yeah, I mean, I let in so many crappy people who just wasted my time. And not even just people that I've dated, but friends. And that's why I feel like I'm so cutthroat now with that. If I feel like you're not going to offer me back what I'm giving, I'm just like, bye. And don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing out people who are really valuable and will be there for me. It's just the people who just kind of want to take. There are a lot of people who just want to take things from you and not give back. And I think it just comes with growing up and getting older. You really start to realize how valuable your time is, and you really don't want to waste it. And I feel like I'm coming off really harsh and cynical, but I'm very open at the same time. Like, I'm kind of a no excuse type of person, but I'm very understanding at the same time. Like, if you really take the time to talk to me on a deeper level and really explain what's going on, then I'm all here. But if you're just gonna just be a dickhead, you know, or just negative all the time, that's another thing. I just want positivity around me at all times. Anyone who's negative or just over dramatic or just anything, it's just like, I just don't have the time for it. I just don't want that type of energy in my life. I think it's really important to care about yourself and care about your well-being, and you don't need that kind of energy trapped in you. I feel like another thing about getting older is you relinquish a lot of your care for what other people think, and you start doing what's best for you. I mean, this is your life. And I know it's so easy to say, but when you really think about it, you're only here for a short amount of time, and you just don't have the time to waste on things that you just don't believe in. Or, I feel like life is so simple, and we just make it complicated. And I'm someone who's very spiritual, so I believe that what you put out is something that you get back. Something that you really want, or something that you really want to go for, or attract a specific type of person into your life, or anything. I really believe that you can make that happen. Everything is just based on your thoughts and the energy that you put towards it. We even attract things that we don't want if we put forward the energy of that as well. Like if you keep harping on something, you're only going to get that back. For example, if you're harping on the fact that you're never going to find anyone, or that you'll be single for the rest of your life, you just keep beating that drum, and it just will keep coming back to you. It will keep coming back to you. You need to fully believe that the things that you want are going to come to you. And I just feel like I'm a great example of that. I really believed that I could be in a great relationship and attract the type of person that I needed. And honestly, I wasn't even sure exactly what I wanted at that time. But what had come to me was so much better than anything that I could have even imagined. And I really didn't think was possible for a relationship. And what comes along with trying to attract something is you can't just say, oh, like, I know that these things are going to happen for me and blah, 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 and then not be taking action towards it. That's where a lot of people make the mistake when they're trying to attract something, is they think that it will just come, but you really need to do your part as well. For me, when I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I was getting a lot of crap from a lot of people, like I've said in the past, for not going to school, and not really, I guess it seemed like to people who weren't really paying attention or didn't believe what I believed, they just thought I was wasting my time. But I took a lot of classes, guys. I've taken real estate classes, I've taken art classes, I've taken cooking classes, I've taken sewing classes, I took a pottery class. You really need to fully ride out all of your options. And along the way, you'll find it out. Even if it's nothing that you're even really trying at that time, as long as you're doing different things and trying to figure out what it is, an idea will pop in your head, or you'll see a show or something that will kind of knock you upside the head a little bit, For me, it was the show Face Off. But yeah, it really inspired me. And Face Off, if you don't know, is a special effects show. So it's actually, a lot of the judges on it are creators for, like, the monster creators for movies. So they have V. Neil on there, who created Beetlejuice. But yeah, so it's just really cool to see that. And that was something, art's always been something that I've been interested in, but I never wanted to do it as a career because I thought it would ruin it for me. And I never envisioned a job where I could fully do what I wanted to do, because I'm not great at listening to people. But also, when it comes to art, I almost physically can't work if I'm doing something that someone else wants me to do. Like, I wouldn't be able to draw or create something that's someone else's vision. Like, it has to come from me. And I started the Instagram just to kind of practice my creations and just share my work as I was going. And like I said, I wound up doing a Cynthia recreation, and that kind of blew me up. And it was so weird. It was really like one of those full circle moments where I was like, I finally found it. This is what I want to do. But I also feel like it's so ingrained in society that you need to know what you want to do right out the gate, and that's just not realistic. And I feel like once you do that, you wind up having a midlife crisis, and you're like, oh my God, this isn't what I want to do. And then you're switching careers, and most of the time you don't switch careers because, you've been doing the same thing for 40 years, and you're like, this is all I know how to do. What am I going to do now, Like, I still need to pay my bills, I still need to do this, that, So it just gets more frustrating, so might as well figure it out now. the best way to figuring out what you want is to figure out what you don't want, trust me. But with all of that being said, I truly believe that everything in your past really leads you to who you're going to be in the future. There's nothing that's wasted time. And it's a waste of time to think that way as well. So if you're going through a difficult time right now, where you feel like you're just stuck and you don't know what to do, or, if you don't know what you want to do in a career, or if you're stuck in a bad relationship, I believe that you need to just keep repeating, doing the same thing over and over and over again for you to learn your lesson and just be so tired of it, because you will. You'll get tired of it. You'll just get tired of feeling that feeling of failure, and eventually you'll give that up and you'll move on. I don't know if this even has anything to do with what I'm talking about anymore. I came back later because I kept rambling, and then I'm like, I believe in that advice, but now I don't know if it fits. I don't know. But anyway, I need to put my lashes on and I'll be back. All right, guys, so it's actually the end of the day. I had to run, what else is new? I feel like I can never do these on time. I don't know what it is. I booked 2 hours ahead of time for this to squeeze it in, and that was plenty of time. I don't know. Do you guys do that too? I always, if I know the allotted time that I have, I'll take that entire time, even if it doesn't take me that long. It's so weird. I stretch it out to fit that time. I don't know. But I figured I would just talk to you guys about it just in case you guys are like that too. I don't know, but I just wanted to kind of tie up my point that I was saying earlier with self-reflection and, who you used to be, and kind of taking the time to see if everything lines up with who you are today and who you want to be. And if it's not, and if you're becoming something that you don't want to be, or you're not happy with yourself, you can always take the time to change those things. As long as you know exactly what it is that you want to change, it's so much easier when you have a direction, when you know exactly what it is and can pinpoint what it is that you want to change. I think I just repeated myself a million times, but honestly, that's the key. You just have to be as realistic as possible and as honest with yourself as possible. So it's just all about getting to know yourself. But yeah, I hope that you guys like this video. I want to say that this is a different video than normal, but I feel like it's not. It's kind of like my typical mental health Mondays where I just ramble about random stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it anyway. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are the same way. But I love you guys, and I'm sorry if this was a really long video. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.